So I know you guys are busy. Okay, good. I'd like to start the meeting for April the 21st, 2021, Blue Ribbon Committee for People with Disabilities. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the second item is a review and an approval of the minutes. So I'm going to wait up on that until we have a quorum. So I'm going to move on to item 3, which is public comments. I don't know. Is there anyone who signed up for public comments, Erica?
No public comments for this meeting, Mr. Chair.
Any public comments from the massive group I have now assembled? Yana, you're always very outspoken. You don't have anything to say?
I don't have anything to say, just that I'm happy, doing well, glad to see everybody. I'm good.
Okay, good enough. Next item is discussion and possible action on the report from Ms. Christine Reyes, Special Needs Program. So Christine, for the last several months, if not for you, I don't know where we'd be. Okay, so thank you for always being there and having a report for us. If not, we'd just like hang out and say jokes to each other. I don't know what we do. Okay, so.
Thank you.
So whenever you're ready, we're more than willing to listen to you.
Just a couple of follow-ups on some past events and things our program has accomplished for the month of March and coming into April. In the month of March, we collaborated with the University of Texas at Austin and helped co-hosted the one-page description toolkit for both the local hospitals here in Laredo. This toolkit, again, was to help individuals with IDD that are admitted to the hospital and not having any loved ones or caregivers be with them due to the COVID pandemic. So this toolkit was introduced by UT. We connected and collaborated with them with Jeff Tate, which is the program manager and training coordinator. He was able to host that toolkit training for us in the hospitals. It's another resources added to our community for our disability community. We were also able to collaborate with him and create a verbal partnership, because later on what we're going to try to do is continue getting additional trainings, workshops, and resources that the UT Disability Study Center has to offer to our community. They do have several toolkits already in place, also resources, but as the months go by, we're going to continue collaborating, working together to see what trainings, workshops, and other resources we can provide for departments, local agencies, as well as educating the community. Our program attended a autism spectrum disorder training for first responders. It was very good information. A lot of ideas and recommendations were given to the fire department, and they were very open-minded on those ideas and recommendations to have mock scenarios done with autistic individuals and how to better respond to them with the strategies and techniques that they have for on-scene responding techniques. We also shared educational material for Autism Awareness Month and Developmental Disabilities in the month of March. We're continuing to add trainings for law enforcement and fire department. We're gathering a proposal to be done with the help of Deputy Rodney Rangel from Bexar County Sheriff's Office. This training will be available to the first responders and law enforcement as well as dispatch, and will give them TCOL accreditation for their agencies. So this is a training that will include all areas of individuals with IDD, not just autism, but we have all developmental disabilities, and then also intellectual disabilities in there. So that's really a step forward for us in the training aspect for first responders and law enforcement. So I'm really happy about that. Our Therapeutic Garden that we've had since the month of January, we've started working on, of course, the planning phases, being able to seed, and now it's beautiful. we've been able to grow some vegetables that we're going to be able to harvest this week. And we've ordered some material to for the month of Earth Month, which is April, to educate the community about the therapeutic benefits of gardening. And then being able to offer those gardening toolkits that are safe for kids and also educational to the families that we have in our program. The fact that we're connecting with Earth Month awareness and connecting them with autism awareness, we're creating sensory bags that are going to be given to 50 families that would include the gardening training materials that are safe for kids and projects to do at home. The sensory bags will apply additional information and resources inside those sensory bags that include emergency plan, 10 ways to build the child's self-esteem, 10 tips for stressless parenting, 8 ways to help reduce a child's anxiety, and a new toolkit for transitioning to adult healthcare for transitioning young adults. The sensory bags, like I mentioned, will add in Earth Month material for educational purposes and therapeutic recreation activities. And I believe fire department will also be donating some sensory items to add to these bags. So I'm really happy about that for the month of April, to be able to supply these sensory kits for the families that we have in our program. Or actually, these are going to be new clients from what I was looking over our program for the month of April. These are going to be 50 new ASD families that are going to be signed up into our program. Through the education this past month, we've researched with FIRE that there's over 800 families in Laredo that have an individual with ASD. The program also completed a Medicaid lab training, which included CHIP services. The lab is providing a monthly webinar for us contractors to help us better understand the roles of Medicaid and its smaller companion, which is CHIP, which is a Child Health Insurance Program. There is additional benefits that have been added this year in the insurance holders of Medicaid. I'm hoping that once we connect with our clients and refer them to our caseworkers, we're able to assist them with the access of the new benefits and opportunities. Some of these benefits include $50 worth of sensory items, payment coverage for therapeutic recreation activities such as art therapy, and additional respite care hours. That's it for my report.
Thank you so much. So tell me about the Therapeutic Garden. Do you get any media coverage for that?
No, we haven't invited or initiated that yet. We're this week we're actually going to be filming, taking clips of how we've started the garden, and this is within a 2 to 3 week process of seeding that we grew squash like there was no tomorrow. It just grew overnight to me, but. We've been collecting videos since the beginning or the start of the garden, and what we will be doing this week is putting that all together and then collaborating with a program here at the health department to help us harvest it and teach the nutrition side of it and the benefits of it. It could go into a cooking video to tips on how to how to utilize the whole plant for health benefits. So we haven't gotten anything done through media, but we will be doing our own videos to educate the community and putting it on our social media page.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I think that would be important for you all to make sure that you get some kind of publicity and get it out there and make sure that people know what you all are doing and what's helpful and beneficial to their mental health as well. So just was wondering whether you were getting any kind of coverage.
No, we haven't. We'll work on that. I'll get with Miss Martinez, Miss Erica, and see what is approved as far as when it comes to our PIO here and being able to reach out to the media. But yes, I mean it's very beneficial. I've been working on it every day as well with a volunteer veteran that we have that's been coming and volunteering his time to assist me and educate me. I'm learning a lot. I have a green thumb now, so I'm all excited.
It's good. And then the training to first responders. Okay, I think that's real critical because sometimes they're the first ones to arrive, and if the person doesn't speak or the person is acting out because of their illness or their disorder, sometimes police misinterpret that for aggression. And it's really important that people understand that when they go out, especially the police and the fire department, when they go out and meet people in public, you understand that they're not always going to behave as expected. And it's not because they want to be aggressive, but rather it's because of the disorder. And so I think that's so important and critical that our first responders be very much aware of and conscientious of. Thanks for putting that together.
No, yes, and I really do appreciate the police department and the law enforcement area, as well as first responders for fire department for being open to it, and also being able to help guide me in their area, because again, it's just taking all of our knowledge and education of all divisions to be able to make this happen. So I'm really happy that they've been open to doing this, and then also taking the lead on it for their own departments.
Well, thank you for everything you do, especially during the last several months that everything's been shut down. You've been the only one that's clicking still. Okay, so thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then we move on to the second item within that agenda item. I'd like to go over, are there any updates or regarding services that any other organization may be providing that is in response to or answers to the coronavirus?
Good morning still. Sorry, I'm going to jump into another meeting right now at 11:30. I did want to say hello to the group and share just a little bit of information on data. If I may, I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Good. Give me 1 second, please. I wanted to, of course, continue to spotlight the importance of vaccine, as we have continued to see a decline over the last couple of weeks in the number of active cases, positivity rate, and hospitalizations. This is due to vaccine. And as you can see here, Webb County, we are at 40.73% fully vaccinated of our population that is eligible. We have administered 129,352 first dose vaccines, and of that 80,000 are fully vaccinated. So we continue to actually lead the state in jurisdictions that are of similar size, and of course jurisdictions that are larger in population with the percentage of persons that are fully vaccinated. So that is great work that Laredo continues to do. We, as the City of Laredo Health Department, partnering of course with the fire department and our curative partners, are now looking to take vaccines into industry, into closed pod sites, closed points of dispensing, to make sure that we're still trying to maximize the number of persons that have the accessibility to vaccines. We know not everybody has the availability to visit HEB during the day, or the curative site during the day, or come to the health department during the day. So we need to take vaccines to their businesses. So we are already partnering up with, as I mentioned, with fire, with curative, with ourselves here at health, to go out to those agencias aduanales, to go out to the Targets, to go out to the IBCs and provide vaccines at the point of care, POC, and as a POD, as a point of dispensing. So we are actively putting together those lists. We did send out a call to action to organizations at the beginning of March to start providing vaccines also to the patients of the populations that they serve, because we do know that the patients will go into your clinics, into your organizations, and they already have that sense of trust built into that specific environment, which is important for us to also ensure that they are vaccinating with confidence. So we do take the vaccines to locations. If I'm not mistaken, of course, we've already worked with the Ruth B. Cal Center. We have worked already with our congregate settings. We have worked with Holdings in Bethany. So we are trying to get out to as many places as possible. in the shortest amount of time because we need more persons vaccinated quickly. So we continue to see this downward trend of infections in our community. We are still very concerned about the spread that is occurring in the Northeast and across the northern part of the United States. What is important to know is that by getting your vaccine, it does protect you against the B.1.1.7 variant, which is the UK variant, which is the dominant variant that is spreading across the United States right now. So getting your vaccine is going to help protect you from getting a severe manifestation of COVID-19 or hospitalization. Have we seen breakthrough cases? Absolutely. We have seen breakthrough cases of persons who are fully vaccinated that have been diagnosed with COVID-19. But the most important thing is that they are asymptomatic, no symptoms, and they do not manifest severe or hospitalizations. So the vaccine does help keep you safe. So we will continue to advocate at the city level, at the county level, amongst all community partners to ensure that persons are vaccinated with confidence. We know that hesitancy does exist. We know that there are simply persons who just do not believe in the vaccine. So we have to, of course, bridge those barriers with education and with the information to empower persons to make the decision, the best decision of obtaining their vaccine to help protect themselves, to help protect their family, their friends, their neighbors, the community at large, and more importantly, to protect those who cannot get the vaccine due to their health status. There are persons who cannot get the vaccine, and we need to build that wall as a community around those vulnerable, the most vulnerable, to ensure their safety as well. I will pause there for any questions. I know I have to jump into my next meeting, but I want you all to know that I'm here for you.
Richard, I have two questions.
Sure.
First one is, we're still holding these meetings virtually. When is the city, or is it okay with us going back face to face or in person, or is that still something that is still on hold for most community meetings?
That is still on hold for most community meetings. I do foresee that happening potentially for the main meeting that can occur. I will definitely inquire as we have moved, of course, from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, and stage 4 will be when we are pretty much fully operational at the city level with all departments fully opened to assist the community. And yes, I do believe, of course, that it's been quite a year, 14 going on 15 months now of these meetings, which are absolutely amazing to be able to host these virtual meetings for safety purposes and to also provide that accessibility to persons who might not be able to make it in person. So I think as we go forward into the future, having a hybrid model is going to be really, really good to ensure that we do have, the 6 to meet the quorum at minimum, whether you're in person or via the online platform, which is going to be great to ensure the participation. But I'll have a response for you as soon as possible.
Yeah, I was just curious, and yeah, I think that this pandemic has forced us to operate in different ways, and I think that many of them we may have discovered that they're convenient and beneficial and advantageous. So some form of virtual meetings may continue in the future, regardless of the pandemic or not. So yes, I was just curious whether we need an okay from the city before we move in that direction. And then the second question I have is, my understanding is that there's going to be a booster shot required.
Yes, so Moderna and Pfizer are working on it is quote unquote a booster shot. So for persons who have already received their 2 doses would get a third. But for persons when that shot does come out, they would still be on the 2-dose regimen. And of course, they would take one of the original and then the newer one. You wouldn't have to take all 3. So that you would be considered fully vaccinated. So the newer the booster does have the B351 variant, which is the South African variant, to ensure the coverage to that specific variant. But that's why we have to continue to let people know that getting vaccine right now does help protect you, and it will help ensure that we don't have further mutation of the virus because as the virus does infect each and every one of us, it changes every single time. So with each new infection, we have a potential new variant that's emerging that is being spread to another person, which will then shift genetically to another variant and further on out. So it is important that we continue to advocate for vaccines. And on a side note, of course, 12 to 15-year-olds should be included very soon, which will help us gain a larger level of herd immunity in our community and across, the United States. So that is in the works. We're very hopeful that within the next 30 days, we do have the EUA authorization from the FDA for the 12 to 15 on the Pfizer side. Moderna is looking for from 12 to 17 to add into their pool, and then hopefully by September we will have ages 5 and up that are included into that also. So that is slowly developing. We want it to be a little quicker so we can catch all these students before they go back to school. Of course, definitely we are already capturing the 16 and 17-year-olds using Pfizer at the high schools, public and private. So that is already ongoing, but then it's our next phase to do the 12 to 15-year-olds. And then, of course, as soon as we have EUA, which will probably the dosage setting for these children, bring down the dosage level. But that should be occurring in the immediate future for children over the age of 5, which is pretty much the starting age for your kindergarten year.
Okay, for the information. You always are very informative, so thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to jump out and jump into the next meeting. It's great to see everybody. Please know that you do have my ear. My door is always open, even if it's a virtual window such as this one. And we hope very soon to meet in person, and I'll keep you all updated on that. Have yourself a great afternoon and stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain. Bye-bye. Thank you.
I'm so glad he was on because he's able to answer your questions directly. I don't have to relay. Sometimes I have to defer to him, but I'm so glad he was able to join us today.
Yeah, so are we. That helps. Anyone else have any other information they'd like to share under that item? No? Okay. So let me move on to item 5, which are, does anyone have any announcements they'd like to make? No? Okay. So then I guess we can move on to item 6, which is the adjournment. If no one else has any other item they'd like to contribute, then I guess we can move to adjourn the meeting. Jaime, yes?
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I want to
Diana or
adjourn the
somebody
meeting.
else? Good. Okay, so I have a motion to adjourn the meeting from Jaime. Diana or somebody else? Rebecca?
I second.
Okay, we have a second. So thank you all for being here, and I guess we can schedule something for next month and maybe even in person. I don't know.
Yeah, so the next scheduled meeting is May 19th. And we'll follow up with City Secretary on guidance on whether
Okay.
it'll be in person or still via Zoom or some sort of hybrid of that. So we'll keep you posted.
Okay, Erica, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. It was great seeing you all.
Good
I
seeing you
see you
too.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.